Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner from the home office. I hope the sound is okay for you guys. It is the 2nd of November and it was an eventful day in the US market yesterday after FOMC meetings. S&P 500 moved higher, closed just below the 200 moving average here. As we can see, there's some resistance at 42.60 that could be tested. What is also interesting is that the falling trend line here on RSI is very close to being tested. If it breaks back above that one, we will look at the 60 threshold. So that's really key to look out for. However, what should be noted, S&P really needs to move above 4,400 to be back in bullish trend, but a close above 42.60 could be maybe the first indication of that playing out, but let's see about that. We have the Nasdaq index also moving higher, broken above resistance at 14,505. Next key one is 14,781, and we are moving closer this morning here in the pre-market. But what is going to be interesting is that Apple will have some earnings announcement later today, so that could be really interesting for what market will do later today and especially tomorrow. Can it break above this resistance and test the upper falling trend line and the 15,000 level? That will be the key talking point, I would say, here for the next couple of days. EUROSTOXX 50 above 4,082, very close to be testing its falling trend line and the 55 moving average coming down there. So, well, it will be tested likely today, and also the 60 threshold here. That would be interesting. If it can close above 60 threshold on the RSI, we are likely to move higher on the European leading index in coming days. Same picture on, more or less same picture on DAX really, not so close to the upper falling trend line, but still closing in. Also observe the RSI, will it break above the 60 threshold or not? That's going to be key. I mean, DAX after opening above 14,980, it could be turning the tide. But what is so interesting, if we just very quickly look at the weekly chart, we are still in a downtrend, but you can see here how the 14,675 support is really key level to look out for. The AX index is, as we speak, above the upper falling trend line on the daily chart. The RSI is still below 60, so we need to keep an eye on that. Will it actually close above, and can it break above the 744 and especially 750? That's going to be a really hard struggle, where we have the 200 moving average coming down, we have the 100 moving average coming down. They will provide some resistance that can make it a struggle to really reverse to an uptrend. Belgian market that has been really hammered lately is bouncing here the past couple of days, testing 34.45 resistance. I think we will see a little bit of a setback there, but if it breaks above, it closes above, I want to see a closing above, then there's room up to around 35.75, where we have the 100 moving average come down, the 55 and the 200 up here. So that can also be a little bit of struggle. So it might just be a correction. We need a more upside for a total change of direction or a trend. CAG also above its resistance at 69.60, but well below the upper falling trend line, and all the moving averages coming down. Again, we should observe the RSI. Will it be rejected at 60 or not? RSI has broken its upper falling trend line, so it is an indication of a reversal of the trend, but for now it's merely just a correction. Let's see how far it can move. And finally, the Swiss markets testing 10,598 resistance here. We have this gap area, and close above the gap area, 10,675 is key for further upside potential and potentially reverse to an uptrend. On the FX side of the story, not really much going on euro dollar. A lot of range bounding trading around 106 and above and below. But maybe we'll have another go at this 106.35 and 107 in a couple of days. It seems like it's warming up for it, but I would like to see the RSI back above 60 before I actually call an uptrend. But if it does, well, then there is definitely room up to 107, 60, 62, where we have the 100 and 200 moving average also coming down. Cable, really not doing much either. Trying to also gain some upside traction, but can't really get out of this a kind of range trading here around 120, just below 122. So not much to say there. It is the yen pairs that are really moving at the moment. A lot of volatility. What we saw was that the dollar yen rejected just below the previous 2022 peak, just below 152. I think we could be range bound between these levels, 148.80 and 152 here for on the short term. I want to see a breakout for any direction. It is a wide range, but that's how it is at the moment. Before I will call a correction. I mean, it's still in an uptrend, similar to euro yen is also in an uptrend, pausing a little bit, but it is forming this rising channel-like pattern, and I think it will slowly be moving higher. And if we look at the weekly chart, we can also see, I mean, we are almost in uncharted territory at the moment, but it is moving higher. Aussie yen, quite interesting. As we can see, it actually broke once again above the 95.85 resistance a couple of days ago. Now it's testing 96.75. I think we will see a little bit of a setback, but as we can see, RSI in bullish sentiment and there's no divergence. It could be on the move higher towards the June peak and also the 2022 peak around 98.5. An interesting move on the Aussie dollar. Broken this falling trend line, so it's actually broken bullish. Oh, sorry, broken bullish out of its falling wedge-like pattern. Sorry about this one. And there should be room up to around 65, 20, 25, where we have the 100 moving average coming down, and there's some resistance there. I think we will see a move up there to that level before downtrend will resume. We have the dollar index. Very interesting move yesterday. Spikes higher, then collapsed and forming this inverted hammer-like pattern or candle. It's not the most perfect one. What is interesting, it actually closed below the 106.57, and also the day before it closed actually 106.56, 1 pip below, still caught in this range down to 105.34 that should be observed. So we need a close outside of the range for direction. Moving on to metals, gold is still holding on nicely around the 1985. I mean, it is ripe for a little bit of a correction. It should correct down to around 1950, possibly 1933, but it seems like buyers are really fairly strong at the moment and still holding up here. So you shouldn't be surprised if we see another push towards the 2010 level, maybe even higher, but so it's a little bit of a limbo here. I mean, the overall trend is up, but we do need a little bit of correction to get some more upside traction. The silver trying again to move higher. Again, 23.78 is the key level to take out for some upside, further upside potential. But what is interesting is that we have the 55 coming up here, the 21 coming up here, and we are also in bullish sentiment on the RSI. So we could have a test at the 23.78 resistance level. Copper slowly trying to move higher, and we have now broken above the falling trend line. We should see more upside potential to 375. We still have the RSI below 60, so we could slide back, but I think we will have a move to towards the 375. But it's still the 382 that is really key resistance, where we also have the 200 moving coming down. So I don't see strong upside in copper anytime soon. It will still be struggling for that. On the energy side, on the WTI crude oil, it's dancing around this 81.30, which is the 78.6 retracement of the uptrend here, and around the 100 moving average. So we are in a downtrend short term, but look out for upside potential towards back towards 85. If it does take out the lows here from yesterday, we will see 77.62 support being tested. Almost similar on the Brent, but a little bit different. Still strong support at 83.44 and 81.75. Also dancing around this 100 moving average, so they're actually finding some support there, but the RSI is in a negative sentiment. So the picture on crude oil in general is a little bit blurry. We are in a correction phase, but the picture is a little bit blurry at the moment. Also, if we're looking at the weekly chart, will it actually resume downtrend, or can it get back to the upside? What is also interesting to look at is the Henry Hub gas that got rejected at the 363 strong resistance level there. That is the level to look out for a breakout. I think it will move higher going into end of November, December, but a correction down to around 325 should be expected. Finally, yields, that is really what was moving yesterday. It dropped below the 480 yesterday after the FOMC meeting. Currently testing the 61.8 retracement of the last leg up here. I think we will see it move lower towards the 460, possibly down to test the lower rising trend line. The key thing is, will it break below 450? If it does, then we have a completely different situation, and then there are lower target inside. If it bounces off, well, then we can have another push towards the 5%. All right, that's a long one again today, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I wish you a nice day and happy trading.